Welcome to Confident Connections, the podcast that helps you show up with confidence and connect with people on a deeper level. I'm Lisa Liu, and here we break down the small signals that create big impact, body language, presence, and the simple habits that help you communicate with ease, increase your influence, and magnify your impact. You'll learn how to make strong first impressions, build trust faster, and feel more confident in any conversation or setting. If you're ready to improve your communication skills and create connections that move your life and your leadership forward, you are in the right place. Okay, I want to give you a recommendation on something I've been using for years that tastes amazing, easy to cook with, heat stable, and tastes like chocolate donuts with 0 grams of sugar and 15 grams of protein. Are you ready for it? It is a bone broth collagen in the form of a powder, and I'm telling you, if you get the chocolate, thank me later, it tastes like chocolate donuts, although they do have other flavors if you don't care for chocolate. If you need a refresher on some of the benefits of collagen, it can help support metabolism, gut health, improve digestion. It can lower the risk of heart disease. It helps with arthritis and supports joints. It's even been known to help with hair and nail growth. If you're not on a collagen supplement and you're looking for a very high quality grass-fed variety, this is it. It's incredibly clean. It's incredibly delicious. No sugar, 15 grams of protein. I use it in recipes. I use it in my coffee. I use it in my smoothies. It's unbelievable. You can go get it at lisaluimpact.com/bone broth. That's lisaluimpact.com/bone broth. It's also down in the show notes. Try it, and I want to hear back from you. What did you think? lisaluimpact.com/bone broth. Hello, and welcome to the Confident Connections podcast. I'm so thankful you're here with me today. I love today's topic because this is all about making connections as a grown-up. Why do I say it like that? Because when we were 5 and in the sandbox, making friendships and connections was seamless. We didn't have to think about it. We did not have to be taught how to make friends. It was, hey, can I play with your truck? Sure. Can I play with your Barbie doll? Absolutely. Boom, instant friends. We're braiding each other's hair and spending the night at each other's house if our parents allowed that. This was childhood. Here we are in adulthood. It's not as easy. Would you agree? It's just not the same thing. We're no longer in the sandbox. We're in either 3-piece suits or heels and a pencil skirt, or maybe we're in a messy mom bun and a hoodie, right? It doesn't matter. As grown-ups, it's just not the same. It's not the same. So I wanted to give you a little bit about my history with this and why this is important to me and why I believe that with some intentionality, you're going to hear that word a lot throughout these podcasts because that's what it all comes down to. It's just being intentional. When we're in the moment, we're not always, we don't always remember things. But when we're intentional ahead of time, then we're prepared, then we're ready. So for me, I told you, I believe it was in episode 1 where I just kind of talked about my upbringing, and I moved a lot. I lived in by the time my husband and I got married I was 24, I had lived in over 55 homes. So I moved a lot. Connections, friendships were hard. Once I was out of the sandbox and I was moving to all the different neighborhoods and all the different schools, I struggled making connections, and this followed me into my adulthood. Then the pandemic came. The pandemic just about did many of us in, but I am an extrovert and I thrive off of people. It's where I get my energy and so much joy. So the pandemic for me went so many layers deeper in that separation, and I would posit it did for even the most introverted people. Like, God created us for people. He created us for community, and we were pulled away from community. So for me, it was a struggle. Once things began to open back up and we started going back out into the world, I noticed that people, it's like everybody forgot how to engage on a human level. Like, forget about making deep, amazing connections. Just looking in somebody's eye and saying hi or good morning, it seemed to have flown out the window. It was weird. It wasn't like we were stuck there for years, But even, between 1 to 2 years, depending on where you were as far as the lockdown went, it disengaged the social graces that we were taught growing up. It just seemed to suck them out of our souls. And so as I'm in the middle of this and watching it, and I'm maybe a little bit ahead because I was still conducting business. I was doing tons of Zooms. Like, I was still connected because I think I would have just shriveled up had I not been. I thankfully, it wasn't quite as difficult, but it still was different because now I was 3-dimensionally with people and I had to re-engage. And so one of the things I started realizing is how even out of isolation, I was still feeling kind of isolated. And I had to ask myself, why? What am I doing to play the role in how I'm feeling isolated? And here's one of the things that I realized I was doing. Okay, this may or may not connect to you in this particular situation, but I want you to think of how it may relate to something you are doing. For me, I would go to the gym. So I joined the gym as soon as the doors were open. I'm like, I gotta be around people again. We were back in church. I was back at the grocery store, all these things, but I was always at the grocery store. I was just, it was just different then, right? But went to the gym and my AirPods were in. My AirPods were in, and I have always said I love working out near people, but I'm in my own world when I work out. That's just something, even though I love people, when I'm at the gym, I wanted to get in and get out. Well, all of a sudden, I was acting that same way post-pandemic. And I realized I had been at this gym, so I had been there, I guess, before the pandemic because I had been there a while, but it had just shut down. And so maybe I didn't join it after the pandemic. Maybe I just went back. My timeline's a little fuzzy there, but I had my AirPods in, and I'm realizing I don't know anybody here. I've seen the same people over and over and over and over, but I don't know one person's name. And that was a clarifying moment to me. Lisa, you have the universal symbol for don't bother me on at all time. You have those stupid AirPods in. So that was the moment that changed. I'm telling you, I hate to say it changed my life. That sounds super overdramatic, but it definitely changed my connections. And I feel like a lot of those connections changed my life. So yeah, I'm going to own that. This changed my life. Yeah. Okay. I just decided that on the spot. This was life-changing for me. I made a conscious decision. I'm done wearing my AirPods in the gym. Now, let me tell you, this was hard because I do not listen to music in my AirPods when I'm at the gym. I listen to podcasts. I'm always learning. I love to learn, and I love to multitask learning. Cleaning the house, I don't do it very often, but I do it occasionally. Driving in the car and working out at the gym, even grocery shopping. These are all times I could be getting an education while I'm walking or driving. Super cool, or working out. But I made a decision that day when I realized I was giving off that universal symbol and therefore that vibe, don't bother me. My AirPods are in, I'm listening to something, so I'm otherwise occupied. I decided to take them out of my ears and at the same time to become intentional to meet 3 new people every week. Okay, I'm an extrovert, and this pushed me out of my comfort zone because I went from the girl who worked out and was never bothered to all of a sudden I felt like a little puppy, like, be my friend. I don't know. It was vulnerable. I'll just say it that way. It was super vulnerable. Again, I'm an extrovert. I'm not somebody who's incredibly introverted, but I all of a sudden felt like I was in the gym with no clothes on without my AirPods in. Like, oh my gosh. Okay. So I began to say these words. I've seen you in here for years and I don't even know your name. What's your name? My name's Tim. I don't know why I keep saying Tim and Sue in these podcasts, but they're the ones that come to mind. My name's Tim. My name is Lisa. It's so nice to meet you. You're in here crushing it like you're in here all the time. And that's how I began to basically turn my gym into the Cheers of gyms. Like, I walk in and I know so many people's names and I love it. Now, we could go down a rabbit trail and you may be saying, but I don't have time to talk at the gym. I have to get in and I have to get out. I get it. I'm not even going to go there with this. This was a personal decision for me because I realized now that I'm out of this sandbox, If I want to make those connections, those relationships, and add value to people and leave them better than I found them, I got to get outside of myself. And this was my step to doing just that. Okay, so that is how I really began to, I guess you could say, re-enter the sandbox. Oh, that's good. That's how I began to re-enter the sandbox and just start getting to know people again. So also when it came to their names, because you may be thinking, I'm terrible with names. I've always said the same thing, but I really think that just takes intentionality as well. When I would meet them, when I walked away, I would open up my phone and I would write their name in my phone. I would just write their name in my phone, and I would put a little distinguishing characteristic. There's one particular gentleman who I'm pretty sure he wears a hairpiece, so I would put, his name and then hairpiece. Maybe that's terrible, but that's just a very memorable thing about him, right? So whatever it is, like, this person wears, black, because she's always wearing this black workout outfit, and she's so gorgeous. Like, I would write that next to her name. Anything to help me remember, and then when I got home, I would go over them, and I would picture them in my mind so that I could, the next time I saw them, call their name, because everybody loves the sound of their name. And I started making not just acquaintances, but actual friendships. Another thing that you could do is just get your eyes up in the grocery line. If we can get our head out of the phone and our eyes up, then we are telling people around us, I'm available. I'm available. Now, maybe you're not available for whatever reason. Maybe it was a terrible day. Maybe, you just got some really bad news. But if you want to get back in that sandbox, you need to show you're available. Eyes up, relaxed shoulders, open your chest just a little bit, a pleasant look on your face. It doesn't have to be a big wide grin, but a very pleasant look. And let people know that you are open for business. In other words, we can have a conversation. So engage with people, smile, be warm. Because no one knows how to act anymore, be different. Be different. If you want my free awkward conversations, conversation starters, it's completely free. Go to lisaluimpact.com/connection. It's really going to help you to enter those conversations with confidence. Okay, memory of the day from the week. Okay, so real quick recap. I'm doing this every week. I write down one memory every day that I want to capture. Sometimes it's more than one memory, but I don't put pressure on myself. I'm a terrible journaler, so this is a way for me to not only capture memories for myself personally, but also it's been opening up some really fun conversations and ways to connect with other people. It's an intentional moment that takes me 1 to 2 minutes each night. If you end up doing this, please email me. I want to hear your memory of the week. info@lisaluimpact.com. Okay, here's mine. So I've been doing a training for this particular team every month for about 6 months now. And this team, they are precious, but they're quiet. Every one of them are extreme introverts. They are very quiet. And this particular team training, so I do communication training with teams, body language training with teams, leadership development with teams. This particular training for this team is basically personal growth. So there's not necessarily a lot of metrics from month to month. However, with this team, I love doing this every month, but I was beginning to wonder, am I making an impact? They're quiet, they're reserved. I do get some engagement with them, but they're just so quiet and reserved. I was beginning to wonder, am I making an impact? The last thing I want to do is collect money from anybody where I'm not making an impact and their leader is paying me money to come in and add value every month. Well, yesterday I had my training with them, and when I could almost cry. It was so beautiful. I won't even go through everything they said, but from the moment I walked in, there was just a shift in energy. Maybe it's because it's, right now at the recording of this, it's Christmas time. Maybe it's because everybody was just super in a great mood, but everybody was engaged. Everybody was talking, but it was the end that cinched it for me. One of the gals said, when we very first started this, all I could think of was, a meeting? Who wants to do a meeting? I don't want to do a meeting every month. She said, but this is the highlight of my month. And that was my memory of the day for the week, because it was proof I was making an impact. And then everybody went around the table and said the same thing. It was everything for me. And that is hopefully a reminder to you too, as it is for me. Sometimes we're making impact when we don't know it. I really like to know I'm creating impact, but there are times that I may never know. There's times you may never know. So keep showing up and doing the amazing things and know that you are making a difference. Lastly, we are only a few episodes in, but if you're enjoying this podcast, are you enjoying it? I hope you are. This is so near and dear to my heart. I love meeting with you every week. If you are enjoying this, would you do me a big favor? Go to Apple Podcasts and leave me a review. Go look for Confident Connections Podcast. You're going to find it. Leave a review. It helps me to get the word out and the podcast out to more people. Thank you so much for being here. Do not forget that your connections shape your impact. So go make them count, my friend, and I will see you next week.